Now this is exciting. We have hooked up with
Tyler Stamets,
who is the
nephew of the owner of the pie shop. It's the family business.
So he's invited us to come back where all the action is back here. Tell us firsthand, because you've grown up here, what is it that makes Julian apples such great apples? You were telling us they're the best.
They are the best pie apples just for these pies because they're just grown so close to here that they're picked and they can be in a pie the next day after they're picked. The growers put them right into the cinnamon and sugar right after they pick them and just makes a beautiful pie.
So it's the proximity, it's not the soil or the climate or what?
The dry climate is a big part of it. It's, a nice cold wet snap in the winter and then just dry the rest of the year, and the apples just love that. The hot summers makes the blooms and the buds just come right up, and then you get the greatest apples in the fall.
So this area
Yes.
is unique in that sense that
It's fairly unique in that sense. Washington is also famous for its apples, but they have a much wetter summer, and so their apples just don't have the tang that ours do.
And if we wanted to grow apples 50 miles from here or 100 miles from here, they wouldn't taste the same as Julian apples.
Julian's the only place you can get Julian apples.
Okay, there it is.
Automobile Club of Southern California and the AAA Travel Agency. We've been meeting members' travel, automotive, insurance, and financial needs since 1900. Over 4.5 million members turn to us for peace of mind and quality service. The Auto Club, we're always with you.
Hello everybody, I'm Huell Howser, and here we are on this beautiful Sunday morning. We've come down here to San Diego County, and I am standing right in the middle of the nice little town of Julian. Now, I've been hearing about Julian for a long time. This is a very popular tourist attraction. It's also a very historic place. We're going to spend the whole day here kind of nosing around, and we're going to find something, I think, that this place is very famous for. And I'll give you a hint what it is. We haven't eaten for 4 days, getting ready to come here. If you're interested in what we're doing here in Julian and what we're going to find while we're here, well, you're invited to come on along with us because we're heading to Julian. Well, we're already in Julian on a road trip. Well, here we are right in the middle of beautiful downtown Julian. Our tour guide this morning is Bobby Zane. Bobby, you're a local, right?
I'm a local. I've lived here just 5 years. I've been visiting here for many, many years before.
But you finally got bit by the bug and now you call the place home.
Yeah, it was the pie.
Oh, you gave it away. The pie. The apple pies. That's what Julian's famous for.
You've heard of those.
I have heard of those. In fact, we've just been sharing with our viewers a nice shot of a hot apple pie being cut. That kind of gave it away too, didn't it?
It sure did.
All right, now we're starting our tour. There's a lot of history here. There's more than just apple pies here, isn't there?
Yes, Julian has a really rich history dating back to a small gold rush, which started in 1869 when they found some gold in one of the creeks around here.
Now you say a small gold rush because it didn't really last very long.
It lasted only a few years, and then the people who settled here, who had come from the south, discovered that the ground was very rich and a good place to grow apples and pears.
So they found another kind of gold, which was apple gold and pear gold.
And it's still the gold that keeps this town going.
Okay, now we're going to talk a lot about the old town because this whole town is like a, look over here, Troy, these beautiful old buildings. This is like a historic district here.
This is a historic district designated by the state and also San Diego County. Most of the buildings you see around here are historic buildings dating back probably as far back as the 1880s. A few of them are replicas, and we're required when we build here to do exactly that. In fact, when I built my own house, I had to build a replica.
Really?
Yes.
Now, it's just 10:30 on a Sunday morning. Things are just beginning to pick up here, aren't they?
It is. They are. And people are just beginning to arrive from all over Southern California to see the apple orchards, taste the apple pie, and in some cases pick apples.
This is a big tourist destination. This is touristy, what we're doing here today, isn't it?
Absolutely, but it's a real town, and I want you to know that there are real people who live here, real people who take care of this town, and it's not a fake town. It's no Disneyland.
Oh, okay. All right, now we're getting ready to start our tour. Come on down here. You have brought us here. We are starting at ground zero, right?
Indeed.
And
Indeed.
ground zero is right in there, Mom's Pies. And when you go in there, you'll find out firsthand just exactly what Julian is all about, right?
Absolutely. You're going to taste it firsthand. Ooh, the line's already started.
Well, now wait a minute. What'd you say about the line?
The line has already started.
What line?
The line that is usually comes straight out the door of this restaurant all the way into the street to get in here and get these pies.
So by this afternoon, there'll be a line out the door.
Absolutely.
That's why we're here early.
You got it.
Let's go inside. Okay, here we are. Boy, they are lining up, aren't they?
You bet they are.
All right, where's the pie? Are you the pie lady?
Hi, I am the pie lady.
Your name is?
My name is Michelle.
And here is one of those famous Julian apple pies. Now, what makes your pies so special?
Our pie is made with TLC. Lots of love and care. That's what makes ours so special.
Really?
Yes.
So people really can taste the difference.
Oh, yes, they can. Just come in and try a sample.
And how many pies do you sell on a good Sunday like today?
On a good Sunday, anywhere from 500 to 1,000.
You're kidding.
No.
In this one place?
In this one place, out
And
of our
there-
4 little ovens.
And there are other places around town selling pies as well.
Oh, yes, there is.
This is amazing.
It is, isn't it?
Now, do you heat them up, or do we eat them cold, or how does it work?
We heat them up if you request it, or you can eat it just as it is. It's actually very wonderful, just like it is.
Now, you don't ever run out of pies, do you?
Oh, yes, we do, and reserve the right to run out.
All right, because we're going to be walking around town all day today. It's a
Okay.
little early for us to start eating pie.
Why is it too early?
Uh-oh, this is hardcore, isn't it? I guess in Julian, it's never too early to start.
For breakfast.
Oh, wait a minute. They're eating pie over here. Look at them. It's never too early, is it?
It's awesome pie.
This is your breakfast?
Breakfast, and hopefully we'll be back for lunch.
More pie?
More pie.
Now, are you all regulars here? Do you come to Julian every year?
We went camping this weekend at William Heisey, where we live down in San Diego.
Had you ever been to Julian
Oh,
before?
yes, yes.
Oh, so this is a regular stop for
Sure, we
you.
come up every year.
Now, do you
Yeah.
take them home, or do you just eat it up? Oh. So you'll be enjoying the Julian pies for a while.
You bet. You bet.
Wow, this is great. So you're getting pie, ice cream for breakfast,
And pie to go.
and pie to go.
All right.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your names?
Doug.
Nice to meet you. And your name?
Michelle.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm Kathy.
Nice to meet you. Enjoy your pie.
Thank you.
See, they're eating it for breakfast.
So do I.
So the idea is you're selling pies, the whole idea of eating pies all the time.
All day long. We open at 8 o'clock in the morning, and people come in starting at 8.
Okay, what I was going to say earlier, can you save us one so you won't run out, and we'll come back and get it a little bit later on this afternoon, because we want to heat one up and have it later on. I don't want to run out.
Yes, we will. We'll make sure you get some here.
Thank you. Put my name on that.
I will
thing
do
and
that.
Save it.
Thank you.
What do you got there?
We got apple boysenberry flaky pie.
An apple boysenberry flaky pie. Now, whose idea was that?
Definitely hers.
Great. You gonna eat it right away, or
Yeah, I won't. No, at home.
you gonna take it home?
Yeah.
Oh, look, we got a line going already. Come on in. Come on in. You're standing in line. How you doing?
Great.
You've come to get what kind of pie?
I haven't decided yet.
Uh-huh.
Boysenberry and scrumptious.
Yeah. What are y'all getting to eat? Ladies, what do you get me?
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
Now,
That's what we came here for. Apple
one
pie.
each, or are you going to get a whole big?
Well, we just had breakfast, so we're gonna get a slice, and then we're gonna come back and buy a whole pie.
And what do you do when you come to Julia? Just
This is my
eat?
first
Hang out with
time.
her, and this is her first time, so we thought we'd bring her and introduce her.
And what are you going to do for the day? What is there to do besides eat around here?
Eat, shop,
Eat,
shop.
eat,
What do you do when you're here?
eat, shop.
I love the shopping too.
Do you?
Yeah, the antiques.
Boy, the energy's building, isn't it?
It certainly is. Pretty soon you won't be able to cross this street for all the cars.
Now, is it always touristy here all year round?
This is the busiest season because we're harvesting the apples, and the town is so full of people who want to have the apple pies and see the harvest and pick their own apples.
So the fall, October and November.
It's a little early, but we also have really beautiful fall color here.
Uh-huh.
So all the trees will turn gold and crimson and stuff.
What about in the wintertime?
We get snow. It doesn't last very long. It's a good kind of snow, maybe a few inches, and lasts for a day or so, and it's gone.
Do people come up here in the wintertime?
They do.
To do what?
To make snowmen and to sled down the hillsides and just walk. And the other thing they like to do is they like to have a hot spice cider that you can find anywhere when it's cold.
And what about in the summertime?
In the summertime, this is very popular for outdoors people. We have a lot of hiking trails, picnic areas, campgrounds around here.
So there's always something going on.
There's actually always something going on.
But October and November are the big apple months.
They are the big apple months. And people come year after year after year to get the apples.
All right, now you wanted to take us over to this place.
I want to take you over to the drugstore. The drugstore here in Julian is very historic. The building itself dates back to the 1870s or so. It's the only brick building in town. And what makes it so famous is it has a soda fountain, an old-fashioned soda fountain. Now, there are a lot of new old-fashioned soda fountains around, but this is the original one with its original marble counter. I have sat at that soda fountain many, many times and ordered a ice cream soda, and it's what brought me to Julian, and many other people stopped there first, and they said, what a cute little town. Soon they wound up here.
And you know, this is kind of a nice building next door, the old Julian garage, 1917.
Right, and that garage, I can remember when that was still a garage and they sold gas there.
What is it now?
It's a gift shop.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go in the old soda fountain. I guess we can just walk across the street.
We sure can.
Good morning. Hear more motor. How you doing? What's going on around here?
Hey, man.
Welcome to Julian.
Yeah, it's nice up here, isn't it?
Yeah, you going into Mom's to get some pie?
Probably will.
Yeah, probably will.
Nice place.
Where are y'all from?
We're from San Clemente, Orange County. Yeah.
Welcome.
All right.
Hey, love your show. Thank you. Goodness gracious. There's a lot going on here. Let's go in the soda fountain. The Miners Diner soda fountain. Okay, we're inside, and I tell you what, you weren't kidding. This is the original thing right here.
This is an old marble soda fountain counter.
This with these old things?
Those old, I don't even know what you call those things, but that's where the soda comes from.
And the back bar back here.
Back bar.
Now there it is up there. There's the drugstore as it appeared, I guess, when it was built.
Around 1915, 1917, that's a Landis drugstore. This building has always been a drugstore, and this soda fountain has always been popular. And it is an original soda fountain. You see very few of these days.
Wow, this is great. Original brick walls.
Right.
And everybody just kind of hanging out in the soda fountain.
Exactly.
A lot of shopping here. It has a nice feel up and down the sidewalk here.
Yes, these are a lot of historic buildings that we're walking in front of. And there used to be wooden sidewalks along here.
Wooden sidewalks?
Wooden sidewalks.
Until how long ago?
I'm going to say about 10 years.
Oh, look, all of these areas back in here are full of stores.
Yes, they are.
Now, these kind of knick-knack places?
Well, you can see this one is botanical stuff.
Look at the people in here. This place, and it's not even crowded yet, right? Goodness gracious. Wow, it smells good in here.
It smells good in here, doesn't it?
We better keep on walking. We're just walking through your store. I guess that's okay. Now we're going back out. Oh, wow. Now, where are you taking us?
I'm taking you down to the old jail.
Now, here's a sign you don't see much around here.
No, you don't see that.
Apple pies sold here.
There's always where are you? There's always a line in front of this place, too.
Really?
Yeah.
So there are lines everywhere. By what, about noon?
By about noon.
Does it get a little lighter during the week? Would that be a good time for people to come if they could?
It would be a good time to come in during the week. There's a lot
Howdy, how y'all doing? We're just kind of walking around.
Watch your program all the time.
Thank you. Have y'all gotten your pie yet?
Yes.
Ah.
Very good pie.
Tell everybody how good it really is.
Oh, yes.
I mean, what makes the apple pie here any better than anywhere else?
It's Julian, I guess.
And what does that mean?
I don't know.
They do
It's a hype, I guess. I don't know.
Well, if it's a hype, it's working, isn't
It
it?
sure is.
They do one with apple and cherry.
Yeah. And a crisp.
And it's crisp.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's fresh.
All right, you sold
Just
me.
glad they don't have pie this good everywhere. I hardly can button my belt as it is.
The Julian Hotel. And it says here on the plaque, it used to be called Hotel Robinson, 1897, placed on the National Register of Historic Places. So this is a historic place.
This is one of the most historic places in Julian. And it's a very interesting place because this hotel was founded by Albert and Margaret Robinson, who were freed slaves who came to settle in Julian in the 1880s and 1890s. Margaret was very famous for her pies. We don't know if Margaret's pie making had anything to do with the pie that's made here now, but she ran this hotel for a long time, and they provided hospitality to many, many famous people who came to Julian starting in 1897.
So they were freed slaves from where?
I'm not sure where Margaret's from. I believe that Albert was from Missouri.
And why did they come to Julian? How did they?
The same reason all the people came to Julian at that time. They were looking for a good life.
Mm-hmm.
And they had heard that the farming was good. Even though there was a gold rush here, they had heard that it was a good place to farm. And so that's why they came.
And she started making apple pies.
Not sure it was apple, but we can say so.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me, too.
And is this the original building right here?
Yes, it is. It's been modified over the years. We have some old pictures showing it was just this main part in those old pictures. And now it's a bed and breakfast, and the people who've owned it have owned it for about 20 years.
And it's doing a good business.
It's doing a wonderful business, and it's sort of synonymous with the history of Julian. There's a lot of history inside. They've been very careful to restore it.
Now, is this a new building or an old building up here?
This building here, called the Stonewall Stores, is a replica of the Stonewall Mine, which was operated here in the 1880s, not right here in Julian, down in Cuyamaca Park. And down there, there's some old mining items. And so this, like all buildings here in Julian, is a replica, either original or replica.
Now, is this original?
Yes.
This right here, this little house.
These little houses were moved here in the 70s and 80s. Yes, they are original.
Oh, wow, these are great.
Yeah.
And, you know, it does almost look like a theme park, but what's neat about it, it's not. This is the real stuff.
This is the real stuff.
Is that original over there? That little red house?
The little red house is. It's got a little plaque in front of it, and I can't really say what it is, but yes, it is an original house. However, the one right next to it is a replica.
The yellow one?
The yellow one is a replica, and it's authentic in every way.
You all are real tight when it comes to making sure your new buildings look old.
We are real tight about that. And they're really tight even down to the landscaping. They ask us to put in the type of landscaping that was here at the time. And the time period is 1869 to 1913. So you see a lot of different kinds of buildings here, which is kind of nice. One of Julian's charms.
Okay, we've cut about a half a block off of Main Street here because Bobby wanted to take us to a very historic place here in Julian.
Yes, I wanted to show you the old jail. It's a very interesting old concrete block building, and I want you to meet Bob Adam here, who is from the Historic Society, and he knows everything about this jail.
You are the keeper of the keys
Keeper
for
of
the
the
jail.
keys.
Tell
Huell,
us
good
about
morning.
this place because it's pretty popular. You got people like to come over here and look at it.
Well, you'd be surprised, but coincidentally, when we restored this a few years ago, we noted at the time that it was the least historically significant building in town, and yet at the same time it attracts the most interest of all the buildings in town.
Now, why is it not historically significant? This looks pretty historic to me.
Comparatively to the rest of the buildings in town, because there's less known, less written, and less documented about it. However, I can tell you just a little about the building
tell us
itself.
about it. Let's get on down in here because, oh, you got a plaque up here.
Well, you may notice, and as you walk around, you'll see these plaques all around the town. The Historical Society puts plaques on all the historic buildings, and we honored this about 6 years ago with the first one of such plaques.
Now, this says this jail held suspects often involved with whiskey and fistfights.
That's true, and this actually has a tradition that dates from the 1870s, the other gold rush in California, if you will. And like such towns, there were approximately 12 to 15 saloons in this town.
Really?
And so the local constabulary, by the way, a part of a tradition of law enforcement in the backcountry, contracted constables up until the early part of the 20th century, maintained law and order in the backcountry, the chief constable residing in Ramona.
And this was the backcountry.
And this was the backcountry in those days. Now,
so there was a lot of, I don't mean to interrupt you, I want to get to the jail.
By all
Can
means.
we go in and take a look?
By all means. Well, this jail was the last of approximately 3 wooden jails that were constructed in this town. And as you can imagine, like so many other western towns, prisoners would easily escape from them. Getting tired of that, the local constables petitioned the county to construct a poured concrete building.
This is like a bank vault.
Yes,
here.
it is. Unfortunately, as careful as they were, and despite its size, they forgot to include in the bid the bars and the door.
Boy, this is a big old door.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, it came into use and was only used for a relatively short time before it was actually abandoned by the county and only used as a prisoner maintenance station until the county could transport them downtown. It in fact, after it was constructed, was used in a very minimal way, and there are a number of anecdotes about the building, but I should tell you that very rarely did the local constable, who, by the way, the one that was on duty when this building was built was named Strick, and he resided in that house over there. And
so the jail was in his backyard.
Yes, indeed it was. And as a matter of fact, his wife did cooking for such prisoners as were here. They didn't actually lock them up in those days, and in fact, most of the time it was empty. And Strick himself used it because it was hot here, and this being a cool building, took his afternoon naps here.
Have you heard all these stories? Look at all of, we got a crowd here. Y'all all came to see the jail. Well, come on down and take a look. This is a big tourist attraction, isn't it?
It is a big tourist attraction.
What is it? The people are so fascinated. Come on down and take a look.
It's actually a backcountry tradition. In fact, if you look around to the side, you'll find a flat rock, and we have always had a sign over that jailhouse window on that side, and it's a very popular place to have one's picture taken because it identifies.
Come on, let's take over here. Come on down and take a look. Oh, right here.
Yes.
So people would stand on this flat rock,
taking a picture of the
looking
jailhouse
this way,
and usually a person would be behind those bars, and of course, naturally, they are playing at being incarcerated.
Well, what do you think about the old jail?
It's wonderful. It's fun. It's
more comfortable than a dorm in a university.
Well, they finished the tour at the old mine. What'd y'all learn?
We learned about how they dug the holes for the tunnels, and pretty interesting. A lot of hard work, obviously.
Did you walk through the tunnels?
Oh, we sure did. Real small, real tight, but those guys worked hard back then.
Is it neat in there?
It was really neat.
Did you see any gold while you were in there?
No.
Too bad. That's the way it is. See y'all later. We're here. Bobby has brought us to this wonderful place. It's got a great feel to it. Where have you brought us, Bobby?
I brought you to the Julian gold mine. It's actually known as the Eagle Mine, and I want you to meet Carl Nelson. Carl is going to take us on a little tour here.
And I want to stay on your good side. You're a big guy here. Your family owns this place.
We started this about 33 years ago.
Tell us about this place, because look at all this neat old stuff out here. What is all this?
Well, this is all just historical stuff that's been around this area for a long time. It has to do with mining mostly.
And this is the original...
That's the entrance to the mine tunnel where we start our tours. We bring them through and we just explain as we go through there.
Now, was this mine, it says Eagle Mine 1870, so this is one of the original Julian gold mines?
Yes.
Did they find anything in here?
Gold. Yeah.
Well, I mean, much gold or just...
enough to make a living on most of the time.
Uh-huh.
Not, extremely wealthy,
Now, this is the old bucket, the old iron cart here. Yeah. You've got a lot of old equipment here.
It has an old compressor, an old water pump, equipment that has to do with the mining here.
Now, when you got the mine, did all this stuff come with it?
Some of it was around the area, gathered from different sites.
Look at this stuff up here. You've got some old stuff around
Old
here.
cars, stuff that,
Look at this. This is great. Would this have been used out here in Julian?
Some of the earlier vehicles, yes.
Yeah. All right, enough of this. Let's get inside. You going to come with us, Bobby?
I'm coming with you.
This is great. Oh, you can, even out here, you can feel the temperature dropping. How cool is it in here?
56 degrees year-round.
Oh, wow. We're going inside the old Eagle Mine. It's been here since 1870. Now, this really gives you the feeling of being in a mine. How many men were working back here at its peak?
Maybe a dozen or more.
That's all?
Yeah, because of the area, the tunnels are small. Okay, he's got to watch his head there, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Boy, don't hit your head. This is kind of a low area, isn't it?
This has got shoring in it.
And what'd they do, just blast their way through here?
Well, at first it was done pick and shovel, later going to the dynamite and, and drilling.
How many miles of tunnel are back here?
We're not sure ourselves. There's areas in here we haven't even been in.
Now, is this the only mine in Julian?
No, there was close to 200 claims like this in the area, some bigger, some smaller.
But it was all hard rock mining back.
Mostly here because we're in a drier part of the state.
So they weren't panning for gold out in a river or a creek?
Initially just to discover it. Once our creeks are seasonal, they're just small, so they're after the creeks were worked for a few years, the bigger stuff got scarce, and then they went to underground mining.
Boy, look at this. This just goes on and on. What is all this stuff?
It's storage for equipment used in the mine, stuff, fittings for the pipes and the air lines.
There it is on the left, too, over there. Look.
Old saws and equipment used in here.
So this is the real thing.
Yeah.
How late up in time did they actually work this mine?
The last few mines like this really stopped about the beginning of the Second World War. That's when this became outdated or old-fashioned.
Is there still gold back here?
Yeah, but you could not make a living doing this. This is, it's primitive.
Uh-oh. Hercules powder.
That was used as explosives for dynamite.
You don't still have any powder back here, do you?
No.
All right, just checking. And look at all this stuff. Lanterns and old stuff. Oh, now we're getting to... What's this?
This is a shaft used to reach the lower levels of the mine. There's a large ore bucket back here used to bring the rock and the men up from the lower levels.
Now, how far down does this shaft go down, straight down? Look at this. We're looking straight down in here.
It goes down 425 feet. There are 5 more levels off the side of this running through this mountain.
So that hole takes us down 425 feet.
To all the lower levels, not the above levels.
Now, how much further? Let's go on through here. Bobby likes this shaft, don't you, Bobby?
I sure do. It's a good place for short people.
It's not a good place for tall people. Oh, look. The hoist room. Now, what is this all about?
This is all the machinery used to lift those large buckets up and down from all the lower levels we were just looking at.
Does this all still work?
Yeah, this is all in operating condition.
Wow. And look at the size of this room.
Yeah, right through here you can see the vein that they were following. It runs right through the overhead over here.
Wait a minute, right up, wait a minute, is there gold up there?
Well, probably see it better from over here, but it runs right through the ceiling here. They're not just digging anywhere. What they're doing is they're following these veins of quartz. That's where the gold comes from.
Look at the size of this room over here.
That was where the head frame was, where the pulley brought the cable down and it connected to that bucket I showed you over there.
Wow. And more old equipment down
here. Here for repair.
And what was this old thing?
That was for water. That's steam.
To run this stuff?
Yeah, well, yeah. This all goes together, yeah.
Wow. People are fascinated by this, aren't they?
Yeah. This is part of history. This, very few of these things you see other than in museums.
Now, do you think that if we cranked all this up and got going again, that we could find enough gold to make a living back here today?
No, not at today's prices.
Really?
Yeah, things are different now. Mostly people just do it as an occasional hobby.
Yeah. So this is basically just something nice for people to do with their
historical.
families.
Modern mining is strip mining, large scale. Other than people that just tinker around for fun, recreation.
So this takes you back to the old days,
yeah,
the way it used to be.
The way it was back then, yeah.
Well, thanks a lot. This is great. You could stay down here a long time. You get claustrophobia down here a little bit, don't you?
I don't know. Some people do.
You have problems when people come
Well,
through?
most people, when they have claustrophobia, they know before they come underground, so they stop before they get this far.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot. There was gold down here in 1870.
Still is, yeah.
And there's still gold down here today.
Yeah.
The old Eagle Mine.
This is the real stuff here.
Okay, now we're getting down to business here.
This is the real stuff here. This is the heart of the apple picking operation.
We've come to an actual apple orchard, and look, you're standing there holding a bag of apples. What have you got in here?
These are, let's see, Ida Red.
Ida Red.
Ida Red.
Now, did you
Ida
pick
Red.
these yourself?
No, out of that little thing.
Oh, okay. Because can't you pick them off
You
the
can,
trees?
yes, you can. But there's only one kind out there in the tree that you can pick, and it's not this kind. I don't think.
Okay.
Some kind of diamond deal.
What'd you say?
I said that's for the kids.
Yes,
The kids are out picking apples.
We're kids at heart.
So you all are just picking them out of here.
Right. You see, they show you how to pick, twist, do this and that. On the
Wow.
sign tells you how.
Okay, well, let's go over here and see who's in charge around here. Howdy, Huell Howser.
Yes, and we're welcoming you to what Calico Ranch. We grow over 100 varieties of apples right
Come
here.
around
Plus,
here just a minute and talk to me. Because look, we're looking out at it out here. This is really very interesting. Tell us what goes on over
meet
here.
Chris. This is the owner.
Oh, hi. Oh, look, you got some apples. You picked those yourself? Great. A lot of fun, isn't it?
It is. It's great.
You're Huell Howser?
Yeah.
Hi.
Come on, let's go over here and get into this. This is very exciting.
Well,
Tell us how this works.
Well, we are the last you pick, we believe, in San Diego. And what we do is we invite families to come
and pick. And here's a picking family right here. Y'all just finished picking apples?
Man, look at these apples there. They're awesome.
Did you pick all these yourself?
Yeah, we're going to be making pies in another day or two.
Now, is there a technique to picking apples?
Yeah, you're actually supposed to
Come
roll.
on over here. Let's go. Let's find us an apple. Come on, let's go. Come on with us. Let's see if he knows how. Well, he must know something. He got a whole bag of them. How are you supposed
See
to
this
do
apple
it?
here? You're supposed to roll them up on the vine, and it just slips right off. It keeps the stem in the apple, and that's the trick.
It's important to keep the stem in the...
Right, it preserves them a little bit longer.
Really?
Yes.
Now, have you ever picked apples before?
Yeah, I have. Up at Glen Oak.
Oh, that's the other good apple
Right?
place.
But I like these apples better.
Yeah. Now, tell us, he did pretty well.
He did perfectly.
How does it work? Let's go out with some more people because this is great. They just kind of wander through
Yes, what we have here are about 450 trees. This side of the orchard are Hawkeyes. It's an old type of green delicious. First started back in the 1880s, and they are a green delicious apple with red streaks.
Oh, we're taking pictures out here. Y'all picking apples?
Yes, we are, and having a
y'all
good
had fun?
time.
Oh, yes, we have.
Yes,
Lots of fun.
Well, let's see what.
That's my mom.
You're what?
A dance in art theater, Motor J. We're out here just bringing all the young people out.
Have
having
you
a
ever
good
picked
time.
apples before?
Never. This is my
No,
first
it's my
time doing
first
this.
time.
It's something good to do, something fun to do,
Well,
something.
look, you're eating your apple.
Yeah.
And you thought, what is that?
Oh,
We caught her. We caught her, didn't
She's
we?
trying to build herself up.
That's great. That's great. And you're eating your apple. Is it hard to pick them?
Oh, no.
It's just, is there a technique that we
Yeah,
did?
you twist them and then push them up and then.
But wait a minute, you push them?
Yeah, you twist them
Twist
and then
them.
lift and then pull it up.
And then
So
pull-
that way you won't
destroy the tree.
Destroy the rest of the tree.
Cool, this is great. Look, she's got a bag of, oh, these are your apples.
These are, we just picked them.
These are great. You know what? I think there's something better about the way they taste if you pick them yourself.
That's right, taste one.
Are they clean? Do you just
No, you have to brush them.
Oh,
Aren't
boy.
they great tasting? Tell them, Steve, what they are, what kind of apples they are.
What kind of apples are these?
Those are Hawkeyes.
Hawkeyes.
I guess those are.
Boy, these are great.
They got a little bit of a
sweet and sour taste to them.
Boy, these are good. Have you ever done anything like this before?
This is our second time we come up. Last year we didn't, but the year before we did. This
Yeah.
is fun, isn't it?
Are you gonna make an apple pie? Or are you just
We're
gonna?
going to take them to Albuquerque. We're going to go visit the great grandparents up there.
Oh, so you're gonna take some good California Julian apples
Exactly.
to New Mexico.
Albuquerque.
Boy, these are juicy.
Aren't they wonderful?
Now, are these historically the kind of apples that were grown here in Julian?
Yes, they are. This orchard was planted back in, we think, the early 1940s. So these trees are 60 plus years old. We're not really sure, but these are an old type of apple. You have heirloom tomatoes now, you have antique apples, and these are antique apple trees.
Wait a minute, antique apples?
Yes, and like I said, they're called Hawkeyes, sort of like the old Last of the Mohicans and Natty Bumppo.
Now, wait a minute, you're losing a lot down here on the ground.
Yes, we do. That's one of the problems of you pick is for every apple you pick to fall. So it's just part of the business. What we do, people ask us if we pick these up and make cider. No, what we do is we mulch them back in the ground. So we're an integrated pest management orchard. So we're called IPM, and we try and not spray. We only sprayed twice this year, and we use safer methods of farming. So we're not polluting the ground or the apples when we do this. So what we do is we come along after apple season and we mulch these back into the ground to get a cover crop for next year.
Now, are there many orchards left in Julian, or is it just down to one or two?
I think we're down to a few, and most of them are private. I think we're the only ones that allow you pick people in, so I think we're the last of them.
Boy, this is so much fun.
We think it is, and we like to see families come out and enjoy it and enjoy the sunshine.
But
And
I'm just looking, everybody's eating.
I know. Well, good.
You probably lose a lot of apples just out here, people eating them.
We do, but we think it's part of the fun.
Yeah.
So.
This is great. I've never done this before. I've always heard about you pick,
Uh-huh.
but this gives a whole nother.
And it's wonderful. We have families who come every year. We have families with children who show us pictures of themselves when they were children and their parents took pictures. So we have third generation families who have been coming here.
Coming here to pick.
Yep.
Now, what were you asking this lady over here?
Just asking what the yellow meant on the
Look
apple.
at this, Troy. We got a little yellow here.
It was brown. The apple was growing next to another branch. So as it was resting on the branch, it just got that little mark.
And it's still okay to eat.
Perfectly okay.
Thank you.
Now, how do you decide which apple you're going to pick, which tree you're going to go to?
I'm letting my son.
What?
It's the ones we can lift him up in the tree and reach.
So he's doing the
He's
picking
the
for you.
picker.
Does he know the right way to do it? Oh, look, he's pointing. He sees
Okay,
one.
you ready? Give that one to Mom. Let's go get some apples.
Thank you.
You got a whole system going here. There he goes. Let's see it. Can I see that one? Oh, that's a beauty. He knows the right ones to get, doesn't he?
He's good at it.
You're getting a workout over here.
How you doing?
You're getting a workout over
How you
here.
doing? Yeah, I am.
That's part of it, though. Wait a minute.
Bad one, though. He grabbed a bad one.
Wait a minute.
He
You
needs to
got a
grab a good
bad
one.
apple here.
He needs to grab a good one.
Well, you got to lift him up high.
Okay, buddy. Let's see. How about right in there? See that one right there?
Yeah.
Go after that one. Ready?
This one right
Yep.
here?
Try that one.
I got it.
Yeah, good.
All right. First apple, huh?
This is a workout for you.
It is. It
you
is.
Gotta hope by the time you get that bag filled, you're gonna need to sit down and take a rest.
Yeah, a little bit of lemonade and a little bit of shade.
Okay, you lift, turn, and
Twist some more, and it'll come off in your hands. There you go.
oh, there you go.
Now this is a calico rome. This is another antique apple,
Mhm.
and take a bite. That's a natural bloom on the apple that you have there. Isn't it good? We
and
think
that
it's
tastes a little different from the other one.
Yes, it's a much sprightlier. We have families who only come for these apples. That's all. And they'll call us every week and say, "Are they ready yet?" And
Look at them eating those apples.
Yeah.
They're good, aren't they? So people know what they want.
oh yes, they know exactly what they want. They'll come back and they'll say, "When's the last weekend we can pick calico romes?" And we'll tell them, and they'll come and they'll pick up huge bags to last them through the winter.
Now the apple season goes from when to when?
Normally, the first week in October, the last week in September, and for us, usually just through the Halloween weekend, and then we're
Boy.
closed. We're only open for 5 to 6 weeks.
You know, I was thinking with all these people, look at all these people we got here,
Well,
that you would have these trees picked dry, but look at all the apples that are still in the trees.
Well, the fellow here with the funny straw hat is my husband, and this is his golf game. This is his passion. He's a scientist.
Howdy. This is your passion?
Yeah, this is my passion. You're right.
Boy, what a great passion to have.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Well,
it's wonderful.
Well, you know, we like the families to come and pick the apples and, you know, just have a day in the orchard. It's so people are out of touch with their food.
You know, there's a real energy here, too, though. People really, I mean, this feels good out here.
Oh, yeah, it does feel. This is my favorite time of the year, and the apple you're eating now, we wait all year for these romes to come ready. So, yeah, there's a lot of energy here. It's Mother Nature at its best.
No visit to Julian would be complete without a visit to the local museum. And Bobby, you have brought us over here and introduced us to Mabel Carlson, who is the curator of the
Julian Pioneer Museum.
Pioneer Museum. And usually when you come in a museum, you're looking at the exhibits in the museum. In this Pioneer Museum, the building itself is interesting.
You are right.
Tell us about this wall, because I found this fascinating.
The 4 stone walls are the original of the building. They're adobe and schist. And at one time, that's all that was left of the building.
So this is the original building here, and you built all of this wood around it.
But all of that is, we have pictures so that we've reproduced all this.
Now this used to be a
brewery and then a blacksmith shop.
Now, did you have a lot of breweries here?
They didn't leave any samples around, though. Yes, we had several of them. We had several breweries here.
Made pretty good stuff?
I don't know. I was not here to taste it, but they say that was good brew.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's follow on down here, because what's interesting, you got a museum full of stuff, don't you, Mabel?
We do have.
We want to look at this bell, because you told me this is a historic bell down here.
That's from the Orinoco School that was out on the Pine Hills Road.
Mm-hmm.
And the mountain lion above it is on a beam that came from Stonewall Mine.
So you've got an original bell from the local school, a huge piece of wood from inside one of the mines.
Stonewall Mine out at Cuyamaca.
And then you've got this big old mountain lion up there. What's that all about?
Well, we have mountain lions up here in Julian.
Really?
Yes, we do, and we also have black bear.
Really?
Yes.
I hadn't seen any all day today.
No. Well, we don't encounter them every day, but we know they're here, and they are seen. We have encounters with them, but not every day.
Now, do you have a lot of locals come through here? Let's just take a quick look. Or are they too busy eating apples, picking apples, and all that when they come into town?
Well, the locals, we have more visitors, really, than locals, because the locals have all pretty much have seen it, so... and they bring all of their company, of course, in.
But the visitors have time to come in here and visit a museum?
Oh, yeah. And they're very interested because we have some fine collections. We have the finest lace collection in California. So that's an interesting tidbit for them.
Mabel has opened up these cabinets over here for the piece de resistance in the museum. What is this, Mabel?
This is a shaving mug that belonged to the founder of our town, Drew Bailey.
The shaving mug of the person who founded Julian, and his name again was?
Drew Bailey, and they were from Dalton, Georgia. They were Confederate soldiers.
And this dates back?
1881.
This is it. when you come to the museum, you can see the founder's shaving mug right here on prominent display.
You are right.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. I'm going to get it back before we don't have it any longer.
Close it up, lock it.
You're right.
Now, we have pulled right off the side of the main road here. We're still on Main Street, right?
We're still on Main Street.
And look at the traffic and the congestion going on down here. It's getting busy.
It's getting busy, and everybody's looking for pie.
And here it is, right over here. Look at this. This is another place that sells pies.
This is the Julian Pie Company,
Uh-huh.
for which Julian pie is famous.
This is our first time here.
You're kidding.
No.
Well, what do you think about it? What do you
We
think about
love
all this
it.
commotion going on here?
We just love it. In fact, we had lunch. Where do we have lunch?
Right across the street.
Yeah, right over there.
Mhm.
And we were saying how lovely it was. Yeah.
And you like all these people and all this
Doesn't
commotion?
bother us at all.
You like all the commotion?
Yeah, we do.
It does have kind of a sense of excitement about it,
It
doesn't
does. It certainly does.
Now, do you have to come here to buy the pies, or can you have them shipped home?
I don't know if you can have them shipped, but you can find them in many stores in San Diego County.
Are you buying or shipping?
I'm eating.
Oh.
It is the best pie. You got to have it with the cinnamon ice cream. It's so good.
Well, now we've hooked up with Jim Mazzone up here on top of the hill. This is the place that we came to get a good shot of the town of Julian down here, Jim. And this is also one of the most historic spots in Julian.
Yes, it is. This cemetery was founded in 1922, but actually a lot of burials took place a lot earlier in 1800s. So it does have quite a history, and we don't have all the records. We lost some in a house fire many years ago, but what we do have are fairly accurate, and we're doing some work now trying to come up with a way to identify the older section.
Look, I'm interested in the number of people who come up here. There are people
Yeah.
who come up from downtown to visit the old cemetery.
We do, and we encourage visitors. We encourage any kind of tourist activity or local people who want to come and visit the cemetery, because it does have a historic background. We're proud of it, and people find it a very interesting place to come to.
I asked you when we were walking up the hill earlier about, because we had found out that some of the settlers, the original pioneer families, was a black family from the lady who made the pies, and they ran the hotel, the Robinson
The
family.
Robinson family, right. They were a pioneer family in the area, and they were well known in Julian for many, many years. And the hotel was probably one of the biggest buildings around at the time, and they ran that for a long time.
But the Robinsons aren't buried here, and I asked you if that was because of segregation, and you said no.
No, it was not. To my understanding, there didn't seem to be that kind of problem with regard to the history of Julian.
A lot of black pioneer families.
Yes, there were, and a lot of pioneers that came from black and white, both that came from the South at the end of the war. And in fact, one of those was a Civil War vet by the name of Bailey, who founded the town. He named the town after his cousin, and that's where it got its name. But the Bailey plot is right here, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And the Baileys and several other families, of course, over the years have intermarried, and we have all the older families up here. Yeah.
So there are a lot of old families, not only in the cemetery, but still living in Julian.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. A lot of people that were here many, many years ago and who were among the founding fathers of the community are still living here.
Well, it's easy to tell why they stayed. Look at this view out here, looking out over the town here at the rolling hills. It's a beautiful, beautiful place today, and I'm sure when those early pioneers came, they were impressed with it as well. This is probably one of the reasons they settled here.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah, with the rich history of the Julian area, they were involved in mining, they did some hunting, there was an awful lot of logging in the area, and then later it got into orchards, and the orchards, many of them still exist. and it does have quite a background.
See, you ended up talking about those orchards, and you know what that means, don't you? We started off the day down at Mom's Pies.
Oh, I understand.
And we got them, they're holding us a pie down there.
Well, they're pretty good at that. Yeah.
So we're now ending up our trip back down on Main Street at Mom's Pies, and they better have saved us a pie or I'm going to be really upset.
Well, if they didn't, we'll sure get you one, Huell.
Look at this. It's now 2 o'clock. We started at 10:30, and look at the size of the crowds here since we started.
Can you believe it?
What is it about this? I mean, a pie is a pie, isn't it?
No, a Julian pie is something special.
But I mean, is it the appeal of just coming and mixing and mingling with people? What do you think it is that causes all these people, both sides of the street, all the sidewalks are just jammed?
I do think it is. I think it's a chance to get out of the city into a real, genuine country town and see what life is like out here in the little boonies.
Out here in the boonies? This, I hate to tell you, Bobby, we're not in the boonies.
No, we're not.
This is, there are a lot of people here. I mean, I know this is good for business and for the chamber, but you've really got a lot of people coming in here.
We really have something to love here. We have something to cherish. People really value, and it's the smallness. It's the not so much quiet right now, but the smallness of the little town, the friendliness of the people, and the fact that it's real. Nothing fake about it.
Boy, this is just great. Ah, here's the line out the door now at Mom's. But we don't have to worry about that.
We hoped. We hope.
Wait a minute. I saw you over picking apples.
Yeah, now we're going to eat
You weren't picking them. You were just buying them.
Now we're going to eat the apples. Mom's apple pie, you know, we got to have it all.
Yeah, I know.
And ice cream.
But you know, they may be out of pies.
Well, I don't think. They make them here, don't they?
Yeah, they make them here. But this line has been going all day long.
Yes, but a while ago it was clear.
Sir?
Gonna have some pie?
Well, yeah, are you?
I don't know, but now that you're here, it must be good. I see your show.
Listen, I got to tell you something. These pies have got to be good. They've got to be good for me to stand in line to go in and get them. Hey, are you used to standing in line to get a pie?
No. Because my mom makes the best pies, but I didn't want to tell them that. My mom makes the pie. It's got a double crust, thick on top, full of butter. But my wife went in there to get a pie, and I didn't want to say anything. It's okay, but my mom is right. Where's my mom? She was right here.
She's in there buying a pie.
No.
Oh, is this your mom over here?
That's my mom.
Let's go see your mom. Howdy. Come over here and talk to us a minute. We hear that you make the best apple pie around. Is that true?
Yes, I do. It's the best. And we stopped and got some fresh apples down at the Calico place.
We've already been down there.
Yeah.
So you're going to take the fresh Julian apples and go home and make your own pie.
Right.
All right, we're pushing our way in, Moms. They're coming out loaded down with pies. Come on through. Oh my gosh. And we thought it was busy when we came this morning.
Yeah.
Look at this. The place is packed. And they're turning out the, excuse me, have you got our pie for us?
You have your pie.
You hadn't sold it?
I haven't sold it. I marked your name on it. It's special set aside for you.
All right, because we've been thinking about that pie all day long.
Okay, let me finish with this customer and I'll help you next, Hugh.
Good, okay. She saved the pie for us.
Great. We're about ready for it too, aren't we?
And here's another. Is everybody happy eating their pie? See, everybody's having a good time. The whole place is full of happy pie eaters. And they're lined up at the counter. So this has been a Chamber of Commerce day, hasn't it?
I believe it has. We have a lot of those up here.
Now this is exciting. We have hooked up with
Tyler Stamets,
who is the
nephew of the owner of the pie shop. It's the family business.
So he's invited us to come back where all the action is back here. Tell us firsthand, because you've grown up here, what is it that makes Julian apples such great apples? You were telling us they're the best.
They are the best pie apples just for these pies because they're just grown so close to here that they're picked and they can be in a pie the next day after they're picked. The growers put them right into the cinnamon and sugar right after they pick them and just makes a beautiful pie.
So it's the proximity, it's not the soil or the climate or what?
The dry climate is a big part of it. It's, a nice cold wet snap in the winter and then just dry the rest of the year, and the apples just love that. The hot summers makes the blooms and the buds just come right up, and then you get the greatest apples in the fall.
So this area,
yes,
is unique in that sense that
it's fairly unique in that sense. Washington is also famous for its apples, but they have a much wetter summer, and so their apples just don't have the tang that ours do.
And if we wanted to grow apples 50 miles from here or 100 miles from here, they wouldn't taste the same as Julian apples.
Julian's the only place you can get Julian apples.
Okay, there it is. What is this called, Michelle?
This is an apple crumb pie.
Apple crumb pie, and for liquid refreshments, we have a half-gallon of apple cider.
Made from Apple Lane Orchard.
Which is another big seller up here is the apple cider, right?
Yes, it is. We sell it by the half gallon or by the cup or the gallon.
Is just great. Thank you very much for saving the pie for us. I was counting on you.
Thank you. You got it.
You got a big line out there.
Yes, we do, around the building.
And Bobby, this has just been a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for coming.
It's kind of a touristy place, but it's a real place. It's full of real history, lots of nice people, and lots of good food.
Can't beat that, can you?
Can't beat it. This has been an absolutely wonderful road trip, which I'm going to remember for a long time. And you know how I'm going to remember it?
Apple pie.
No. Well, it's connected with apple pie. When I get up in the morning and try and button my pants, I'm going to think of Julian and this pie. We've had a wonderful day here in Julian, the pie capital of the world. Now, where else but Julian would you see llamas standing out here on the side of the main street of town, and then you walk right over here, and look what we got going over here. Yay! Ladies, what is this group called?
The Floozies.
The Floozies?
You got it.
What's that all about?
Well, it's a way to make money instead of having a bake sale, honey.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier, too.
Harley, this way, out of underneath the tree. All right, okay, stand there and say, let me see your apples though, guys.
Down.
How about down from your face? Mom can't see that. All right, good job, girls.
You ready? Here we go, right there, bud. Cool.
Hey.
That's okay. What about that one right up against the tree? Do you see it? Look. Right there, dog. Dean, ready? Cool. Is that a good one?
Yeah.
Oh, no, look it.
No.
We'll give that one to the bugs.
Hi.
Road Trip with Huell Howser was made possible by the Automobile Club of Southern California and the AAA Travel Agency. We've been meeting members' travel, automotive, insurance, and financial needs since 19...